How's it going, everyone? Savi from Winter Swan Drop. Today is April 11th, 2021, and today we're going to focus on the next major Arctic blast that could impact a lot of the United States later this week, as well as the next potential nor'easter that could occur later during this week as well. But before I begin, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather content. Make sure to like if you like this video, and make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather content. So let's begin by taking a look at the GFS forecast model as of right now, and you see that in the United States we obviously have this quite formidable low pressure system located in the Midwest, and it has that very classical mid-latitude cyclone look. As you can see, we have the rain squads on the eastern half of the storm, and we also have the dry air filtering in on the southern side of this storm. Now, this isn't the most strongest low pressure or mid-latitude cyclone we've ever seen, but it's at least dumping a decent amount of rain, and unfortunately it's going to be lingering over the same area because there's very weak steering flows associated around this low pressure system, because as you can see, the jet stream is well up to the north. It can't really steer it out to sea very easily, so as a result it's just going to meander over the same area in the Midwest for a very long time. However, the good news is that the rain won't necessarily be heavy enough to cause a major flooding threat like I was fearful of just a couple of days ago, as it seems like it's gonna eventually weaken because it won't really have any driving force that's going to strengthen it. So as a result, it won't dump a lot of rain, but it will dump at least some rain over a long period of time, and it's just not going to be the best looking conditions when it comes to the Midwest and the Northeast, where it's going to be just rainy and cloudy over the next several days, extending 2 to 3 days from now, as this low pressure will continue to linger in the same area. However, that will change with this next upcoming trough, where you see that right here we do see around 24 hours from now, we do see a slight dip in the jet stream where there is a little bit of snow associated with this trough, and we do have some rain on the southern side, and there's just enough cold air to at least get something going in the United States and to create a drastic weather pattern change for a lot of the eastern half of the United States, and that could bring our next Arctic blast. So if you're hoping for, let's say, higher temperatures for this April, unfortunately we might see another jet stream dip that might delay your plans for a warmer spring. So as a result, we're going to see cooler than average temperatures for most of the United States. And if we move forward, you see that 48 hours from now, we do see the jet stream dip quite far south at this point. Not insanely south just yet, but it is far enough south to a point where it's bringing below average temperatures throughout the Dakotas. And you see that we're even seeing a decent amount of snow right around northern Dakota and Minnesota, and especially in southern Canada, where we do see some heavier bouts of snow associated with this trough, because it's going to encounter a little bit of unstable air to enhance the snowfall activity on the northern portion of the United States. So as a result, we could see a little bit of snow associated with this low pressure system. But if we continue to move forward, you see the jet stream dip. The trough continues to move further eastward, but it's going to be in a little bit of a blocking pattern because there's going to just be a very dominant ridge dominating the eastern half of Canada, and that's going to prevent this trough from moving very far eastward very quickly. So as a result, we're going to see a little bit of a negative tilt when it comes to the jet stream, where we see the jet stream winds temporarily shift from, let's say, from west to east, more from an easterly to westerly direction, which is something we don't typically see all day, and that's going to enhance the snowfall throughout the Dakotas and slow this thing down, most importantly, which could bring a lot of snowfall throughout Canada and northern United States. So you need to pay close attention to this if you're in the Dakotas. But moving forward, you see that the jet stream eventually dips far south enough to where now it's affecting the Great Lakes. A little bit of northeast is involved, and if we continue to move forward even more so, you see that the jet stream dip is now impacting the northeast right around the 4-day mark on Thursday. So unfortunately for a lot of you guys hoping for warmer temperatures, this might not be the week, as another big Arctic blast is expected to occur. And not only that, And that's not the only thing I'm concerned about. The other thing is also the possibility of maybe nor'easter, because you see later during the run, almost right around the 5-day mark, you see that the GFS is leaning towards developing a low pressure system just off the mid-Atlantic coast at 995 millibars, which is quite formidable, and it does strengthen it even further to where it's 989 millibars, and it's to the point where it's at 982 millibars, which is equivalent to a category 1 hurricane, and so it is quite a strong low pressure system. And while it is April, we still are in the season of nor'easter, so you do not want to just let your guard down when it comes to nor'easters just yet in the Northeast, because there's still certainly the possibility of having some nor'easters happen in April, which could dump a decent amount of rain and also some strong winds associated with it as well. There's still a lot of uncertainty. We're still 5 days out though, so we need to keep a close eye on this. And there's a lot of uncertainty because if we take a look at the current surface map, you see that the European isn't very lenient on bringing this low pressure system very close to the east coast as of right now. Well, let me check the latest run to see if it has changed in the latest run. It could have possibly changed, and it certainly has changed a lot, because in the previous run the low pressure was well off to the east, but now it's leaning closer to the northeast, which is very interesting and does increase the likelihood of a nor'easter when we see both of the two main computer models agree that there's going to be a nor'easter. And it really all depends on the timing of this, how much unstable air there will obviously be, because if there isn't enough unstable air, there won't really be the driving force that will really strengthen this into a nor'easter. And it really all depends on where exactly the jet stream dips, because that will be huge in determining how close to the coast it will be. Because if it dips a little bit further, if it dips a little bit later where it's more out to sea, then it won't really affect the northeast. But if that jet stream dip occurs just early enough, we could see a nor'easter in our hands by late next week. So it is something we need to keep a close eye on throughout the northeast. And yeah, it could dump maybe heavy rain, strong winds could be associated with this, but still a lot of uncertainty. But in this channel, I just want to give you guys a heads up just in case it does happen. Even if it is uncertain, I just want to make you guys aware that there's at least a possibility in the future, so keep a close eye on that. But it seems like it's more than likely we're going to see an Arctic blast impact the United States with below average temperatures throughout the United States overall. If we take a look at the 2 meter temperature anomaly, which pretty much represents how much warmer it is or cooler than it is than average, and you see that for most of the week, especially in the Midwest, the temperatures are going to be cooler than average for the most part, and this will eventually extend to the Northeast, where we do see some portions of the East Coast get impacted by below average temperatures. So this is definitely something we need to watch throughout the United States, and we're going to see another big Arctic blast, and the European mostly agrees with it as well. If you take a look at the temperature anomaly based off of what the European model is saying, you're going to see that the European is also in pretty big agreement that we're going to see below average temperatures as much as 20 degrees below average closer to North Dakota, which is quite a temperature deficit throughout the Dakotas, and we could see it as snow as well. So we need to keep a close eye on it. And eventually you see the cooler than average temperatures moves eastward and even further southward as well, where we could see temperatures up to 10 degrees below average in the southeast come Thursday. So it is going to be something to watch. It's likely that we will see a major Arctic blast, so just make sure to be prepared for that. I'm not saying there's going to be like freezing, there's going to be Antarctica, but we could certainly be in for quite a pattern change for a lot of the United States, and it's gonna be cooler than average for the most part. But in terms of actual weather, in terms of extreme weather or severe weather, like what's typical for April, it's gonna be very quiet outside of maybe that possible nor'easter, as while there is a pretty big jet stream dip, it isn't dipping far south enough to really interact with the warm, humid Gulf of Mexico air. So as a result, we're not gonna there isn't a major chance of major severe weather as of right now. We do see some showers form as a result of the jet stream dip in the southeast. We need to pay close attention to that because I've seen events that look very small turn into major severe weather events. So yeah, need to keep a close eye on the thunder showers in the southeast. And if we move forward, you see that a nor'easter develops off the coast, another thing we need to look out for. But for the most part, it's going to be a quiet week, maybe some snow in Dakotas. Taking a look at the forecasted snowfall for the Dakotas, you're going to see that they're expecting over 6 inches of snow in a lot of areas in North Dakota, and maybe close to a foot in some localized areas. So this could be a major snowstorm for you guys in North Dakota. So pay very close attention to that, because you guys could be in for one last big snowstorm before spring or summer starts. And you see that the European is even more lenient on bringing a major snowstorm to North Dakota and Minnesota. So where over a foot of snow is expected in some areas, which is a lot of snow. So keep a close eye on this. This is going to move very slowly, and it really for the nor'easter, it really all depends on how early that jet stream dips to create nor'easter and enough unstable air for a low pressure system. So we need to keep a close eye on that for this week. And in terms of areas that should experience below average temperatures around the Midwest, it's going to be well below average for the most part, I'd say, and there should be a decent amount of snow in northern Midwest. And you see that nor'easter, it's certainly possible for Northeast, as that's definitely not out of the possibility. So keep in mind of that for this week throughout the United States. But anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather videos. Make sure to like if you like this video. Make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather content. And I hope you guys have a good day.